AskReddit. People who quit a job, what dumpster fire did you leave them? Didn't get a bonus because they felt the overtime I did paid me more than the bonus they gave to everyone else. I didn't know what to say to that, so after a few hours I offered to get coffee for everyone. Then I left and never came back or contacted them again. I keep thinking that I should go back with coffee now I've been gone 10 years and just act normal. Shoppers fucking drugmate. I had simply asked for better hours after working ridiculous late night hours for over a year. Instead they hired a new guy and gave him the exact hours I asked for and then had me train him. So when training wasn't going very well because new guy was super slow, they blamed me for it. Now I had a good standing with everyone at this store, but I didn't need shoppers and I let a lot of shit slide every day. So again when I asked for a vacation that I deserved because I was never sick and punctual as all hell, I was denied it, and the next day the manager had 4 weeks of vacation set. So to make it up to me, they offered me all these insane overtime shifts for the next 3 weeks. So I waited for the frozen deliveries to arrive that same day. The boss was packing up to go home, and when he said goodnight to me I said, "But who is going to do this frozen delivery?" He laughed and said, "You are." So I replied, "Nope." And he became super cross, so I started laughing. "What are you laughing about?" he says. So I said, "Fuck yourself." I quit. Now there was no one to finish the night shift. He immediately asks for the uniform, lol. Now I said, "Fuck yourself." I quit. I had never done that before or since. Uniform went in the trash. I worked as a small engine repair tech for a larger company. I'm also in the National Guard. I had gotten hurt and needed physical therapy, and 1 or 2 days a month I would have to miss because of an extended drill weekend. Well, my boss didn't like that, and she decided that she would punish me by making me stay later than everyone else. She was punishing me for going to physical therapy for a workplace injury and for being a soldier. Now, you may be thinking, having to stay late to keep up on your work doesn't sound like that much of a punishment. Normally, you would be right, but trust me, she was doing a lot more to make sure it was a punishment. Well, one day after being told that I was not given approval for the 1 day of vacation I asked for 3 months in advance to go see the eclipse, and generally being treated like a slave, I was like, why am I doing this to myself? And clocked out at the end of my shift. That next Monday after drill weekend, I showed up, packed up all my tools and took off. My boss started freaking out when she saw what I was doing. I left and found out that me leaving cost her over $100k because she had to ship my workload to another state to get another shop to work on them. That meant she needed to pay to ship them and then pay to ship them back, and since her shop didn't do any of the actual work, she never saw any money for any of the repairs. It was over 80 riding mowers. 18 years old, assistant manager at a big pizza franchise. Had been working open to close for 2 weeks straight because the new GM went on vacation right after taking over the store. When she got back from her vacation she worked a half day. I opened and still closed. Then she changed the schedule and took 2 days off. This was the last straw on top of a ton of other shit piled over a year. Multiple new GMs, shitty district manager, awful store politics. I was alone during an unusually large lunch rush and was just done with everyone's shit. I had a Mac line full of orders, phones ringing, oven full of pizza, orders to be picked up, and a massive batch of dough sitting on the prep table. I said fuck it. I shut the oven off, walked out, and locked the store. Didn't call anyone to let them know. It would be hours before the evening driver would roll in. No prep for the day, no dough for the day except for dablob. I'm sure would become a massive mess after rising for hours. A double-deck oven with both belts full of pies wasted and what was probably shaping to be a $1,200 lunch out the window. I hope she was well rested after her time off. I got stabbed in the shoulder while working as a bookmaker, betting shop manager**. I was the only key holder, and while the paramedics were tending to me the area manager was on the phone asking me to open the store the next day. I closed shop for the day, came back once I got out of hospital, put my keys in the safe, and left my notice on the desk. Store didn't open for 3 days while they sorted a field manager. worked as the engineer at the mill, was responsible for operation and process adjustment of certain piece of equipment. Made it works with better than specified results, but my managers required more production, less power, etc. So, at the point machine reached its back-S capacity, and further pushing was risky and huge amount of invest was needed. I was told by brass that you didn't back-T even try to do it, only say some lame excuses. I was full of this shit and called to the manufacturer of this equipment. Long story short, instead of instructions and advices, they sent me a job offer for local service rep. After I quit the mill, my ex-colleagues tried to push machine above the limits and successfully broke it and stopped the production for a couple of weeks. I spent some time working at a gas station where my supervisor would take about 20 smoke breaks a day while demanding that the rest of us work harder. After several days of this, and my boss not doing anything about it, I quit in the middle of a pizza order rush. It's Monday morning, my day off, and I was pulling out of MD Anderson after getting blood work done when I receive a call from my manager. Let's call her Thankyou. Thankyou asks me to come into work because of tacalifs. Thinking that I did not have anything else planned and could use the overtime, I agreed. I informed her over the phone it would take me an hour to get home, dress, and drive to work. All I heard was her annoyed fine, just get here. 1 hour later I arrived at work. Just as I was getting to the deli where I work, my manager, who was behind the counter by herself, starts yelling at me for being late. In front of not one, not two, but a line of customers. I attempt to remind her of our conversation, but she cuts me off, tosses me her apron, and storms out of the deli. I'm forced to shrug it off, apologize to the customers, and get to work. Later, I have a customer walk to the deli and ask about our rotisserie chicken, something not uncommon. I explain it will be over an hour before they're ready and suggest driving 5 minutes north to the other Walmart. He nods, thanks me, and walks away towards the front. I thought nothing of it and continued to cook popcorn chicken. 5 minutes later, the same customer comes back with none other than Thankyou, who is asking me about the rotisserie chicken. I, once again, attempt to explain how long the chicken has left to cook, and the suggestion I made. No sooner than, when I finished speaking, she berates me for being lazy and telling a customer to go elsewhere. I ask what else is there I could do, as I couldn't make the oven cook faster. Her next words stick to this day: I want you to do your damn job, or you can kiss it goodbye. A moment of pause from everyone. Zoan may have been listening in the entire time, as well as the customers they were helping. I ponder, then smile. Okay. I apologize to Zoan May, wish them the best of luck, and walk out of the deli towards my manager. I stop in front of her, take off my apron, kiss it, say goodbye, and walk out of the store. I still have my NAMA badge and hat to this day. I worked 25 years for a large company in the sales division. I was making 6 figures and had earned my role as VP of the West Coast. My plan was to stick around to retirement, but then we got a new president, and the new president was an asshole to everyone. I saw one sales guy walk up all excited and offer a handshake to meet him. The president didn't shake the extended hand and instead said, I can't believe you came here without polishing your shoes. The president gave a directive for me to stop hiring people with business or sales experience and to start just hiring attractive men and women, because their good looks will sell products better than the educated words of a veteran salesperson. Plus they are young and work cheaper. I went along with this request and made 2 such hires. Then the next request came along, tell me who is the worst member of your team right now. I explained my team was #1 in the company and we're all doing well, but the weakest one 8-year employee who had a bad year last year. He was making less frequent calls and the quality of calls was dropping. I had to place him on a PIP to improve in 3 months. And he did. He busted ass, worked long hours and weekends, and moved into the #1 spot on my team. At the end of the 3 months, president calls me to discuss the PIP. I explain the great progress and that I want to release him from the PIP because he is on track now. The reply was, well, there's probably other things wrong with him anyway, so terminate him and document it. Make sure to hire a young attractive person as a replacement. I quit on the spot with 0 days notice, unusual for a white collar job, and told him to do his own dirty work. Now I work as a high school teacher lol. When I was a programmer at an insurance company, one of the long-time programmers had been with the company for nearly 20 years. This guy originally wrote most of the financial system himself, from scratch, and had maintained it with the help of a couple of other people. Every month he did the month-end processing, and every quarter he did the quarter-end processing. Every year-end? Yep, it was him. There was a change in management a couple of times, and he kept getting treated worse and worse. He was being treated unfairly, asked to do unreasonably more work than he was already doing, getting thrown under the bus, that kind of thing. He finally had enough, and one morning he came in, walked to the manager's office and quit, then walked out the door. In the aftermath it took a team of 4 other people, months and months to get things back together, and to a point where things were serviceable.